Hi, welcome to AFTV. It's now time for player ratings. Robbie, a 3-0 defeat here at the Emirates. It's not going to be amazing scores, I'm sure, from you, but let's get straight into it because it's been a painful one. Let's start with Aaron Ramsdale today. You can see the 3 goals. What are you giving him?
Yeah, he wasn't really nothing. None of the goals were his fault, were they? No. You know what I mean? I mean, it was shocking and sloppy defending in front of him. So, yeah, I mean, Aaron Ramsdale, 6.
His dad might remind you about
that. 7, because he had no chance of any of the goals, and to be honest, he wasn't really, he didn't have a lot to do apart from pick the ball out of the net, did he? So
Okay, 7 there. Let's go into right back and go to Ben White today, Robbie.
He had a nightmare.
Mitoma had him on toast.
Mitoma had him on absolute toast all game. And I just felt he just looked leggy today as well. And I've been saying this about Ben White sort of over the past sort of 5-6 games, that he just looks like he's running out of stamina. You know what I mean? I've noticed it in a lot of games. He gets hooked a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not because of poor performances, because of stamina. It's been a long season and he just looked leggy today. You know what I mean? Because some of the moves Mitoma did on him, I'm like, they're not even just little basic. Crazy, He had a really poor day today. I'll probably give him a 3.
Wow. Let's go into centre-backs. Let's start with Kivior today. The man that went down holding his ankle, and I don't want to blame him, but a lot of people stopped, but he was,
I don't know, I haven't seen it back, right? I don't know how hard he was stepped to. I mean, it has to be really, really hard for you to go down in that moment, but why is everybody else stopped is what I really don't know, but listen, that moment cost us because up until then, there was nothing really happening in the game. It was 0-0. No team looked like it was looking like a draw all day, to be honest, which still wouldn't have been good enough for Arsenal. And that moment turned it. I'll give him a 4.
4, okay. Gabriel Magalhaes, his centre-back partner today, Robbie.
He just stopped, didn't he? Yeah. He was one of those who just stopped and went, what's that about? You know what I mean? And he looked a bit nervy on the ball today. He just didn't, you know what I mean? How I saw him play last week at Newcastle.
Complete difference, isn't it?
4 out of 10. It was just like it was like it weren't the same guy.
Yeah.
Was that the same team today? I don't know. I mean, I had to do a DNA test on it because seriously, I need to do a DNA test. I know he's there looking all serious and that.
Yeah, but Ty's not happy with it.
Ty's not happy, but Ty, I need to do a DNA test on the team to see if it's the same team
from last week.
If you needed to, what are you going to do with the referee and officiating?
Oh my God! So hold on, wait. So on that Kivior thing. Kivior thing. I haven't watched it back yet, right?
Yep.
But he goes down, like he's obviously been stepped on. Why is everybody else stopped?
Fair enough. We are wrong, but the referee's still wrong because he stopped for the Brighton players when they were rolling around like they're trying to.
No, but hold on. No, this is different.
Who's the stuntman? Was it Lee Majors, the stuntman?
The ball's been played into the box. So if the ball's been played into the box, why is everybody stopping? Your player's gone down, but you still got to concentrate on the matter at hand, which is like keeping the ball out of the back of the net.
Absolutely, no, that is true. But I think that if there was
don't blame the referee.
No. I blame the referee, Robbie, because he was stopping it for the Brighton players when they were going down, and they were.
We did that last week against Newcastle. We did that last week against Newcastle.
We did, but also we were the victims of some seriously bad challenges because I saw that back. We were lucky to go. Exactly.
Exactly. All right, you can go now.
That's how you go, lad. Let's go to left back. Let's go to left back. Let's go to Kieran Tierney, Robbie. No Zinchenko today. Kieran Tierney.
Hold on, wait. Did I give Gabriel a score?
Oh yeah. You said from last week. You said 4.
4. Yeah, 4.
Tierney.
Tierney was one of the better defenders. The only thing is with Tierney, you can see why Arteta likes Zinchenko. Comes into infield, gives us that extra midfielder. We didn't have that today, and Tierney didn't really do that at all. He just stayed as a traditional left back. But he was one of the better ones, I'd say. Probably I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, okay, fair. Let's go into the midfield. Start with Jorginho.
Yeah, again, compared to how he played last week, he was very passive today. Didn't see that aggression. Didn't see all the stuff that he was so brilliant at last week and the week before.
Believe it.
4.
4. Okay, that's fair. Going forward, look, let's start with the captain, Martin Odegaard, a man that bailed us out last week. He was quality shooting from outside the box, getting a goal, leadership performance. But today,
even a couple of times, right? There was one time in the first half he had almost like an identical opportunity to what he had last week. But the difference was this time he took another touch and another touch, and then they closed him down. He was in his, when I say he was in the same sort of area to take that shot off. He just wasn't himself today. He was poor today. I have to say. It's probably a 4 again.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He taking the captain off as well. Saw him come off as well, which is unlike.
He's come off a lot of games, and also normally he's that guy who leads the press, enthusiasm, really in their face. He weren't today. He was just like he just stood off. I was really a strange performance.
Could be tactical. We'll get to Mikel Arteta. It could be tactical, but even still,
that's not tactical. Well, all right, yeah.
We'll get to. Okay, let's go to Granit Xhaka today, Robbie.
Another one that better than the other midfielders in that. You know, he tried to get on the ball a bit more. He had a bit more energy, but again, just overplayed. Just always that too many touches, wrong decisions. Just a lot of that throughout the game by Xhaka, and it wasn't surprised to me when he got taken off. So 5, I'll give him. He's a bit better than the other 2.
5. Okay, let's go to our right winger. Let's go to Bukayo Saka, Robbie.
Bukayo Saka, quiet game today. A lot of people were saying he looked tired. He was the only threat again, though. He was the only outlet, the only threat. But, you know, he can't do it all on his own, can he? Ben White wasn't really helping him up, wasn't really getting up the pitch to give him any overlapping runs or anything. Probably a 5 for Saka as well, but
the only outlet, you're right.
He was the only outlet, man.
Only
you can't do it.
It was him.
Can't do it all on your own, can you?
Yeah. Let's go to the other wing. It's going to be quite a difficult rating to give Martinelli because he had to come off.
Well, you can't really just give him a 5 because he came off so early. But I thought it was a disgusting challenge on him right from behind. Cannot believe that the referee will get to him.
Didn't even give a card.
He didn't even book. Now I know a lot of referees are sort of like, right,
early on,
we want to allow the game to flow, but he was ridiculous. He was letting fouls go left, right, and centre. And I just felt that, you know, that one in particular, I'm like, that was ridiculous. I mean, and now he's injured and he came off.
Yeah, he was in a boot. I don't know if anyone saw that. He was in a boot on the TV. They showed him in a boot.
That's probably him done for the season. Yeah. I mean, he ain't going to play again for the season. And, you know,
so bad.
It was such a bad challenge. And I don't know how he didn't get a yellow card.
Yeah, you got
a 5 for that.
Got to protect the players, referees. That was outrageous. Just quickly before we move on, did that change the game for you? Seriously?
100%. Yeah, it changed it because I just felt that Martinelli, even though he hadn't done a lot up until then, but it's quite early in the game, just like he's got more energy than Trossard. Okay. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then Trossard came on and had a nightmare. So obviously changed the game.
Okay, let's go to striker, number 9, Gabriel Jesus, Robbie.
Tried hard. You know what I mean? There was one time in the second half where he did a lovely little turn, but then took again that additional touch. They were all guilty of it today. Didn't really get a lot of joy from their defenders. You know what I mean? I thought he's quietest game since he's come back. So 4 for him as well.
4. Let me rattle through the subs. We're going to have to go to Trossard because he had quite a big feature in the game. So Trossard for you?
Shocking, man. Shocking. I was hoping that, you know, he'd show something coming up against his old club.
Yeah, he seemed
to affect him and Ben White. Ex-Brighton players are like, a guy said it in the fan cams, coming like they thought they were still playing for Brighton. They were both that bad. Trossard, the error for the second goal. Again, he did hit the crossbar. There was one time he hit the crossbar. That was a nice little thing from him. But on the whole, he was really poor. Really poor. It'd be a 4 for him as well.
I think that's fair. I think that's not fair. So I think that's quite generous from you, Robbie. There, giving him a 4.
4. Who did I give a 3?
Who you gave someone in the back line? Ben White, I think.
It's Ben White a 3.
So I think
Trossard gets a 3 as well. Then
there we go.
Maybe because I'm thinking he did have that shot against the crossbar, but that was about all he did.
Yeah.
He was horrendous today, and he's been so good. All these players that I'm marking down have been so good for us. Let's remember that. But
this
today. Listen, you've got to tell the truth, innit? They've been poor.
Let's go to the midfielder that come on, Thomas Partey, a man that, you know, a lot of people said we might have missed, but today,
come on, did nothing.
He's been bad for a few games.
Right? He looks off the pace all of a sudden. I mean, what has happened to him these last, 5-6 games? He just looks so. Again, looks leggy. He can't even say leggy. He's only just come on. did nothing when he came on. That'd be a 4 as well.
Okay, let's go to some of the other subs just quickly. Emil Smith-Rowe, we saw the return of, and Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I mean, those two, they didn't really get a lot of time to shine. You know what I mean? They looked a bit more livelier, but when they came on, the game was done when they came on. So 5s for them too. I think I wouldn't mind seeing those two start next week. Now that we know the league's over.
Oh, that's not bad.
I mean, I would like to see a couple of those. I think I'd start Eddie for sure next week. And Smith-Rowe, you know what I mean?
Our number 10 and our number 14, I think it's time for them to step up. Okay, let me go to Reece Nelson just quickly. He's the last sub, I believe, out of the rest.
The one bright spark, he came on, he was electrifying.
He had a shot straight away.
You know what I mean? And, you know, in hindsight, you look on it and think maybe he should have started. You know what I mean? I remember a few weeks ago, I told you that a friend of mine said to me, he's sort of close to the club, said to me, he goes, in training, he's been electric. You know what I mean? And his cameos have been brilliant. It's a shame that it looks like he's going to leave the club at the end of the season. I'd love to see him time to a new contract. I want to see him start next week, especially if, as it looks like, Martinelli could be out. Yeah. I'd like to see him start. He's looked lively in every game he's come on. You know what I mean? And I thought today he livened it up when he came on. Yeah. He was a threat. You know, and I'm going to give him a 7. You know what I mean? I thought he did right when he came in.
One good rating, 7. I think that's fair for Reece Nelson. Now, the referee today, Robbie.
The referee. I'm not blaming him for that Kivior.
man just sneak back in when he hears referee.
Come back. Right? I'm not going to blame him for the Kivior thing because I think that's Arsenal's fault. The Arsenal players just stopping. Why? I mean, I've got to watch it back, but that's not his fault. But I have to say, the Martinelli foul. How he has not given a yellow card for that. I know you want to let the game flow and stuff like that, but the players come through the back of him and chopped him down. And now look, he's out injured, and I just thought he was horrendous.
Horrendous is putting it lightly. If I gave him a rating, it would have to go back to is BC's before Christ?
Yeah.
What's happening before Christ? What's happened before the dinosaurs? That's the rating that you would get. Thank you.
0.
0 is a compliment.
0 BC.
Yeah, and some.
What'd you give him? You agree with Ty's rating there? 0?
I'll give him like a 3 as well because I thought, as I said, there's all allowing things to go and all that, but come on, some of the things he allowed, they're yellows and reds, man. Well, I don't know about reds, but
definitely
come on, man. And if you do that, you allow the player to do it again. You've got to pull sanctions when it's a very poor challenge. Yeah.
Sorry, Robbie Cecil. Can I just say, somebody's made a good point. Why did that challenge not go to VAR? Because it's obviously the referee hasn't seen it properly. So why didn't they tell him to go to VAR?
Well, I don't know if they did or not. Sometimes they just do a quick check, but I don't know. I've not seen it back to see if it's a red card offence. But certainly, definitely a minimum yellow.
Okay. All right, we're going to have to speak about the manager now, Robbie. Mikel Arteta. Seems, the possession stats for Brighton were a lot higher than ours. Pass completion was a lot higher. They dominated the game, and it felt like it might have been tactical. So what do you give Mikel Arteta today? Because I don't know what happened today.
Well, we've lost the game 3-0 at home, so he gets a very low score as well. Whether that's an instruction of his to stand off, I'm sure it weren't. I'd love to hear his press conference afterwards. I haven't heard it. But they just stood off for most of that game. When they pressed, a lot of times they got joy when they pressed, but they just stood off and let Brighton play. And it was almost like we was a bit too fearful of Brighton. Has that come from an instruction from the manager, be very, very careful which has got the players spooked, that's made them stand off as much? Yeah. I don't know.
But after Newcastle, you wouldn't expect him to be the confidence they played with there.
No confidence at all. Just standing off, worried about Brighton's pressing, worried about Brighton's ability to play out from the back. But we're great at doing that. Yeah. So honestly, it was poor. Arteta probably a 4 today. We got it all wrong. There's nothing wrong with Brighton coming here and having more possession than us. I think didn't they go? I mean, we had more possession than City.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just, I just felt the difference was City weren't passive. We were very passive, and that's what allowed them to. I mean, the game was just drifting, isn't it? It was a bitty game. Stop, start until we made that error and let them in.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's go to the last rating. The fans, Robbie, because everyone I spoke with, they said they were watching the City-Everton game before, all in the pubs, everyone was checking it, and it felt, from what I've heard, it felt like people were feeling that, and when they were in the stadium, it kind of felt like that as well. Is that true?
There was a good atmosphere at the start of the game, but I have to say, coming up to the game, the majority of fans, and I'm going to include me in it, I felt a bit flat. You know what I mean? I felt like when I saw that City result, I felt like the league's over.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we do today, the league's done. You know what I mean? Because that was a big, big win for them today. Even so, I don't like when, you know, the second goal goes in and half the stadium disappears. You know, I don't think these players deserve that. You know what I mean? They've been brilliant all season. We've got to stick with them and salute them and say, listen, well done for the season you've given us. Today's horrible. Today's poor. You heard the ratings. I'm giving very poor ratings to the players, but they've been magnificent this season. So people shouldn't just be, you know, it looked really bad to me, the way...
On the TV, I'll be honest, it's empty.
And this is the first time this year that I've seen that. This season, should I say, I've seen that. So I was going to mark the fans down today. You know what I mean? I'll give the fans a 5 today. Because, you know, for the fans who stayed, you know, it's always a 9 and 10. But I just felt that, you know, and if you're a player and you see that half the stadium's gone on 2, you know, and the ironic thing was at the end of the 90, they held up a board for 8 minutes to play. Who knows what could happen? So, you know, stick with it till the end. But I do understand the frustrations today because it was such a letdown.
Yeah.
It was such a letdown.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the ratings. Let us know your ratings on AFTV Plus app. Like the video if you like the video, and we'll see you again very soon. Season done, people. Take care.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.